Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Scandal, Season 7, Episode 4, and the name of this episode is Lost Girls. I'm sorry this review is late. Pretty much have a really busy weekend, but I'm definitely going to get this out for you guys. But before I get started, let me give out my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by the tragedy in Las Vegas, as well as everyone that were affected by the hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Jose, and Maria. If you can give any relief or any support to anyone that was affected by these tragedies, please do so, because our fellow man needs our help, and it's our responsibility to stick together in times of trouble. Now, let me begin with this review. This was a rather good episode. I'm really liking how Scandal is unfolding so far this season. So definitely things are being set up where it's really going to get crazy from this point on. Alright, so the episode opens where it left off, where Fitz is at Olivia's door, and she comes in there, lip-locked with Curtis. And all of a sudden, Fitz is there. Hi. So, next thing you know, we see Curtis pretty much is like, it's good to see you, former president. And Curtis just gets the heck up out of there. And Olivia's like, what? And he just got on the elevator and left. So now she's there alone with Fitz. Because Curtis knew he couldn't compete with that, because everybody knows about the big, kiss when Fitz had left the White House. And, she runs out to the helicopter and kisses him, very reminiscent of Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard. So, everybody knows that Fitz and Olivia got that love thing. Curtis knew it too, so as soon as he saw Fitz, he was like, it's good to see you again, Mr. Former President. I guess I need to be going. So, Curtis then got up out of there. So, pretty much, Olivia's like, why are you here? And he says that, I'm here about the Health Institute. And she's like, what's that about? She was like, and then, he even kind of made a joke about Olivia's like, wow, it's nice to see you again as well. Exciting, huh? I'm like, this is just being real smug, and it's funny. But he says, I'm here about the Health Institute, I'm actually trying to do this missing girls case, because there are a lot of missing, black girls who are not being looked after, and there's nothing being done about these missing girls. And he was saying that, look, and she's like wondering, well, why the hell are you here? And he says, look, the 100 days are over. I'm here to get some work done, and I brought this case to you because I think you should look into this, and I know with your expertise you can do something about it. She was like, you need to take this to Quinn, because, Quinn is now running, QPA now, so, it's no longer OPA, it's QPA, so you need to take this to Quinn. That's something Quinn will handle. And he was like, I don't want Quinn, I want you. And she was like, you can't have me. And went into her apartment and shut the door, and I was like, damn. So we all really know why Fitz is really there, and yes, this case is definitely a good part of it, but there's a lot more to why Fitz is there, and we definitely find this out throughout this episode. But then we also know from when he had his run-in with Rowan last week, that Rowan was kind of letting them know, look, you need to save her, from the darkness, because she is drunk with power, and she's going to do herself in. So another thing so pretty much we got that case, with the missing black girls, and but then not only do we have that going on, we also have the fact that Millie is hosting that summit, and we touched on to that in the last episode, because she finally got President Rashad on her side as far as ending nuclear warfare in these countries, and they're trying to create this treaty between his rival, which is Prime Minister Nazari from the Call. And they're trying to sign this peace treaty to end nuclear warfare. So we see that's going on, and that is really the center of Olivia's mind right now. So we definitely see that she goes to see Jake, and Jake lets her know that, look, we need more agents on, in the field. She kind of blows it off and was like, look, I need you to find out why Fitz is here. Fitz just showed up out of nowhere. He didn't call. He didn't send a text. He didn't send a fax. He didn't send shit. He just showed up on my doorstep. I want to know why he's here and what's going on with that. So look into that. So, and so then we actually see we actually see QPA. I'm sorry, it's QPA now. Quinn Parker Associates. So we actually see QPA is looking into this missing girls case. And we also see that Marcus is there working with them. So they pretty much go through all of these different girls, and they're looking for the perfect girl who has the perfect image and the perfect, name, so they can actually, bring this case to mainstream. And the person that they end up picking was I think her name was Zoe Allen. And she was like a straight A student, and because some of the other girls, they had, one girl was named like Quenisha, or he was like, she got, that name is too black for mainstream America, we can't use her. And then there was another girl who played hooky, and the other one was caught smoking. It's like, no, we need a girl with a perfect image in order to bring this to mainstream television and mainstream America, so something can be done about these missing black girls, because there were a lot of missing black girls that were unaccounted for, and it was actually rather sad, when they were going through all of this. So we actually see that they get all of that together and they settle on Zoe Allen. So we see that Marcus goes to see Olivia, and he's saying that they told me I need to get a pass to see Millie, and they told me that I had to get that pass through you. And then Olivia's like, Millie's busy. I was like, ooh, you are really cock-blocking Millie, aren't you? You making sure Liddy ain't getting nothing. I mean, you making sure that Millie's not getting any. So I'm like, okay, Olivia, while you running around town, getting your freak on with Curtis, she can't have a drop a man. And we see that Millie is going through it. I mean, her lady bits are going insane. But, so pretty much they kind of touch bases or whatever. And she was like, well, she's like, so how was Vermont? And he was like, cold and white. And she was like, well, how's Fitz? Cold, white. And they both chuckled at that. But then he lets her know, okay, I can't go see Millie. Well, he lets her know, you need to go to QPA and look at this case. And she says that, look, I got other things going on right now. My main focus is making sure that this summit goes through smoothly and that we actually make history. That's my main focus. But then he lets her know that, look, you need to actually go to QPA, stop by, and look at this. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just making a suggestion. You should stop by and see this, because this could definitely definitely be something that will spark your interest. So we see that go on. Then we actually see that Olivia actually does go to QPA, and she sees all of these black girls that are posted all over the wall, and it really does something to her. Because right now we've been seeing that Olivia has been this bulldog, and she has been focused on nothing but winning and controlling the narrative and controlling, the oval. That's been her main focus. But looking at these black girls really did something to her. And she went there when no one was there, but next thing you know, all the QPA came in and they saw her, along with Marcus. And they was like, what are you doing here? It was like, I'm looking at this case, and I got a smoking gun for you. Her mother Nora Allen. You need to get in touch with her and get her on mainstream television. You know, this girl is perfect, and if you're really going to get this case out there, you need to appear on television with Zora Allen. You need to put on every mainstream show you can think of, so therefore they can finally shine a light on the situation. And then Olivia leaves, and then we see Marcus smiles like, yeah, I got your ass. So we see that Marcus is in on it as well. Now, I'm going to touch on to this, and then I'm going to move forward with this whole situation with Fitz and, you know, Melly and the summon and all of that. But first, I'm going to talk about Cyrus. Because Cyrus, as the last time we saw him, he got this $100 million painting that was delivered to him by Fenton Blackstone. You will remember him, you know, he's this rich, he's like this billionaire gay man who is very uncouth and says what he means and means what he says and just does whatever the hell he wants, you know. And he's definitely not the normal kind of guy that Cyrus deals with. But Cyrus, in some way, is intrigued by him, though. And we definitely know that Fenton got a thing for Cyrus, and we definitely saw that in this episode. Because we see Cyrus is sitting in his office looking at the painting, and he's there with his secretary. And he's just saying that, look, I can't keep this. This is like unconstitutional. You know, I can't accept this as a gift. So he pretty much says that, look, I got to give this back to him because I can't accept this. But then she's like, look at this, though. I mean, this is like a collectible. I mean, this is like, you know, this is like a really profound piece of work, and you own it. But then she was like, but then she kind of lets him know, like, yeah, he's definitely letting you know something. And then Cyrus is like, what you mean? He said that, she's like, look, I know this guy who got a thing for me, and, you know, he actually, you know, like, you know, I think he is like about somebody who works at a coffee shop or whatever. And she says that when I come in there, he always wants to give me, you know, extra toppings, you know, for free. She's like, it's only one reason why he's doing that. And it's the same thing with Fenton. So I was like, okay, she's sharp. I like her. She kind of let me know, like, look, Fenton trying to get up in you, baby. He gave you a $100 million painting. You don't know why he's doing that or why he would do that. Nobody don't be getting $100 million paintings on a daily basis. So we see that he finally goes to Fenton's place, and Fenton has this really high tech, you know, living quarters. And it's pretty kind of awesome. Then he's definitely into virtual reality because you see these wearing like these this virtual you know, goggles or whatever, and he is just having fun. And Cyrus comes to let him know that, look, you need to I can't accept your gift. But he's like, it is a gift, so you can accept it. He's like, no, according to the Constitution, you know, I can't accept a gift no more than, I think, like $100,000, and this is definitely beyond that. And he was saying that, look, you know, you need to come back and pick it up. And so he's saying that, you mean to tell me I have to pay money to get back a gift that I gave you? And he was like, unfortunately, yeah, you know, because I can't accept it. It's a nice gesture. I love the art, you know I do, but I can't accept it. So then he's like, won't you put on some goggles with me and actually have some fun? And he's like, oh no, I can't do that. He's like, you're asking me to spend money to give back a piece of a high piece of art that I gave to you. Like, you can at least have some fun with me. And the funny thing about it, Cyrus and Fenton were having so much fun. And I'm like, who's gonna get Cyrus? Like, because he's giving Cyrus a different kind of man that normally Cyrus doesn't deal with. And then, like, you know, we see that the two of them are having fun doing this virtual reality stuff, and they're just having so much fun. Then they sit down on the couch and talk, and next thing you know, we see Fenton really putting on the moves. He was like, you know, but because we also saw that Cyrus had already apologized to him by the way he talked to him. And he was like, yeah, but you may have a point. Maybe I'm not ready for politics, you know, because I don't like this whole game of kissing your ass and just trying to say the right thing. I just say whatever's on my mind. But then the next thing you know, after they did the little virtual reality thing, they sit on the couch, and pretty much Fenton's like, so I have an idea. You know, why don't we set something up where you can teach me about politics, and I can get under your skin. And then he starts stroking Cyrus. I was like, okay, Fenton, you let it be known. I want you. And Cyrus immediately just shuts it down, and he gets up out of there. Then we also see that he has a scene with Millie, because Millie comes to his office, and she noticed a thing. She's like, oh, my God. How did you? And she's like, did Fenton give this to you? And he was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. Give me the 411, girl. So they started having like a little girl powwow between the two of them, and I never would have thought we would ever see Millie and Cyrus kicking it like this. But, you know, they had their little powwow, and she's like, you know, won't you see what's up with him? Like, hey, like, that is like a high-end piece of art. You know, that is a rare piece. If he gave that to you, he wants you. You better go see what's good with that. And he was like, absolutely not. And she's like, well, what's wrong with him? And he was like, and this is like typical gay shit. Because he was like, did you see my last husband? This dude's beneath me. I was like, really, bitch? Yeah, you seen your last husband, and now your last husband done divorced your ass and got custody of your little girl that you had with James. So, boo-boo, he actually is a step up from what you normally would deal with. I mean, yeah, he was definitely more younger and more fine and more fit, but oh boy is a millionaire. And he definitely got more personality than the last man he was married to. But it's kind of like that thing with the gay world. It's like it's all about being young and being beautiful. And even though Cyrus is up in age, he got a thing for them young boys. So he's used to playing with the young meat. And now this guy is actually in his age range. So he's like, you know, it ain't going down because he's not my type. But you know damn well that, you know, Fenton is getting to you. And Millie was like, well, obviously he wants you, you know, because, you know, if he give me a painting like that, he definitely wants you. And then Cyrus was like, of course he does. I'm like, you stuck up, bitch. Like, you know, Cyrus definitely be having his moments where he just really becomes an evil queen, and he knows Fenton likes him, but then he's like, why wouldn't he like me? I mean, I'm that bitch. And I'm like, Cyrus, have several seats, honey. But then we see later on, he finally goes back to Fenton, and he says, okay, you know, I can't accept it as a gift, so I'm going to buy it from you. So he gives him $20, and he was like, okay, and we can set something up where I can teach you about politics. So Fenton was like, okay, cool. So I was like, yeah, you liking him. You're liking Fenton, Cyrus. You're just trying to play hard to get. But Fenton's going to get you, boo-boo. And I already see that happening. So, and I think it'll be a good thing because Fenton, you know, definitely is a different type of guy that Cyrus is not dealing with. And Cyrus needs an adventure. So we're going to see what's going to happen there. Now, what ends up happening is, first I'm going to talk about, you know, the whole case involving, because I mentioned the last time, I mentioned before that Olivia pretty much said that Zoe's mother, Nora, you need to put her on mainstream television. So we see that Fitz and her go on Curtis's show. You know, and we know Curtis to be very neoconservative. So they're on the show, they're talking about the case or whatever, and Curtis, being the smug ass that he is, because we definitely saw him do this with Olivia, he tried this with Fitz as well. Because he was saying that, you know, this whole case of this missing girl, Zoe Allen, you know, this went down during your administration. How is it that slipped? How is it that a case like this slipped between your fingers? And Fitz said, I had no aware of this, but this is not just a problem with the Justice Department. This is also an issue with the press as well. And he was like, oh, so you're blaming the press for this? So you're saying that the press is the reason why you didn't do your job? And I was just like, oh, see, I'm thinking Curtis definitely feels some kind of way that now that Fitz is back, because Curtis was loving, you know, Olivia's blackberry pie. And due to the fact that he's no longer getting no blackberry pie, he kind of feels some kind of way. And he didn't say nothing then in front of that door, but now he's on his platform. That's when his little, you know, his little bestial side comes out, because he's just going in on Fitz. But Fitz handled it, and he handled it very well. And he was saying that, look, Fitz was like, look, and he then like, you know, Curtis was like saying that, well, you're trying to blame the press for this, and if anything, why are you even here? I mean, isn't your business and everything set up in Vermont? I mean, why are you back here in D.C.? So I'm like, yeah, he's going after it because in a way he feels some kind of way that Fitz is back, and it's obvious. But then again, he's doing his job because that's what he does. He likes to go after people, you know, But Fitz pretty much handled it. He was saying that, no, I'm not saying it's the press alone, and I'm not saying it's just the Justice Department. It's pretty much a system that needs to be, it's a system that needs to be changed. And then he said that, but then he also let her know, like, as far as the press is concerned, you know, no one is giving coverage to these cases because I'm gonna be real with you. You wouldn't even be sitting here talking to Nora Allen if it wasn't a rich white man sitting next to her. And I was like, you better get his ass fixed. Get them together. And then he lets it be known, like, as far as Vermont is where my library is, but I am free to work anywhere I want. And he says that I may be moving here permanently. So Olivia is watching this on TV, and Olivia is not happy about this because she's like, where in the hell is going on while Fitz is here? And then we definitely see that Fitz does have a run-in with Rowan, and he pretty much and Rowan kind of lets him know, like, look, the reason why I always hated your ass was because you were always her weakness. You always had something that will just humble Olivia, and I hated you for that. But now that's the main thing why I came to you. I want you to fall in love with her. And I want her to fall in love with you. Because obviously you two are meant. But you already knew off the bat that they had something. And you kept doing everything you could to break them down. So he's saying that, look, you know, Olivia has always been my piece of cheese to control the narrative and to pretty much maintain my power in B613. Now you are that piece of cheese. I'm using you to get Olivia, to take Olivia off of B613 and to put Olivia back in the right direction. But I'm thinking, Rowan, you're doing this shit because you want that power back your damn self. So we saw that go on. And then we also see that Olivia does have a run-in with Rowan as well. And we see that he's working on this, you know, dinosaur fossil, and he called it Anna. And he named it Anna. She comes in there to see him, and pretty much around the conversation, she's pretty much asking, like, you know, is it possible that can you have it all? Can you be in command and still have love and happiness? And he, like, really goes off on her ass. She's like, I've told you this time and time again, and you just don't want to fucking get it. No, you can't have it all. You're either going to take power or you're going to take love. You can't have both. And like he's just saying, and Olivia's like, I can have it all, and he's telling her, no, you can't. And everyone is telling her she can't have it all too. But Olivia is drunk with power that she thinks she can do the impossible. So we saw that happen. Now, going down, and then we also see later on that her and Fitz have a run-in, especially after she saw him on TV with Curtis. She's like, why the hell are you here? Like, out of just nowhere, you just drop in, and all of a sudden now you're trying to be in the press, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. There's something more to this. Why are you here? And Fitz is like, because you are here. You know, I can't go another moment without you. You know, throughout my administration, we went through a lot together, but we always had this special connection, and I miss that. You know, don't you miss how we were? Don't you miss, you know, the love that we once shared, and the next thing you know, they started kissing. I was like, oh hell, Fitz then got his way back into Olivia once again. But then I'm gonna tie that in. Now I'm gonna talk about the summit. Now the summit is between, and we definitely see that President Rashad and Millie, the chemistry is really heating up with them, and we can tell Millie is ready to jump on that. And we see that President Rashad is really flirting with her, and he's kind of giving her that look like, yeah, I want you. So we see all of that go on. So when it came down to the summit with President Nazari, Prime Minister Nazari, Prime Minister Nazari was being straight smug and did not give no fucks. Because he was like, this is some bullshit. I'm not signing this crap. Like, what the hell you think? What the hell you think I am? Why? So, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know, this is just another way for America to demolish a country so that they can be the only one with the big guns. I'm not signing this crap, especially I'm not doing it to please this son of a bitch over here, talking about President Rashad. And he's saying that it's all obvious that the two of you are in cahoots with each other, or maybe you're being corrupted by a woman's charm. So he's kind of throwing it out there, and Olivia's eating it up too, because Olivia knows that Millie likes President Rashad. But then, you know, Prime Minister Nazari turns to Millie. He was like, you know what? I liked it better when your husband was president, because at least with him, he had enough courage and decency to look me in my eye. And I was like, ooh. And that pisses President Rashad off. Like, he's ready to go fight him right then and there. So they pretty much break and they kind of go off. Then we see Millie and Olivia talk, and you know, Olivia kind of let Millie know, well, I understand why Prime Minister Nazari feels that way. I mean, you gave an open dinner, you know, for President Rashad. You welcomed him in. You gave him all the bells and whistles. And you just brought him here after all this time he spent with President Rashad. And she's kind of letting me know, like, yeah, bitch, I know you want him. And what makes you think Prime Minister Nazari doesn't see the same shit? So we saw that go on. Then they actually go back. They actually talk to President Nazari, and, you know, pretty much, you know, and then we actually see that actually President Rashad and Prime Minister Nazari actually talk. And he's saying that, look, this is a good deal that's going to benefit both of us. You know, this is not about me trying to take you down. You know, I really want to end this war between us and actually establish a new treaty amongst our nations. We've been fighting for God knows how long, and we need to do something different. And he's saying that, look, if they're gonna go and raid you, they're gonna raid me too. And if your arms want to come and, you know, check out my situation, you know, we have to be able to check out yours too. So we're at a place where we can just shake hands and move forward. And right before he was about to sign, the damn Secret Service comes in and they shut it down, because what ended up happening is that this whole time while President Rashad was there in D.C., there was a coup forming in his country and they overthrew him as president. So now these rebels have now taken over the government, and President Rashad ain't even president no more. So I'm like, oh damn, he being up in there with Millie. You know, because he even mentioned it in the last episode that, look, you don't understand that there are operations in my own country that will try to cut my head off if I go with this. But then Millie was saying that, you know, we're here to protect you. You know, America's your friend, not your enemy. Well, we see that his country done turned on his ass and outed him as president. So now Millie wants to go to war now, and she wants to put some armed forces down. She really wants to put the military there to kind of, you know, put President Rashad back into power. Olivia's dead set against it, because she's like, look, this is not our issue no more. We still got the treaty. We're just going to find out another means to get it. You know, President Rashad is done. But Millie is just adamant. Oh, no, this is not how the way we do things. After all, we brought him here, and we welcomed him here and gave him this idea of this treaty, and now that he gets outed, we're just going to just dismiss him? That's not the American way. you know, and he needs us. He came here, you know, he came here on good intention, and we need to be there for him and actually show that America's got his back. So at first Olivia was like, I'll think about it, because they kind of went back and forth with it, because Olivia was kind of getting on some good points, like, like, are you doing this because it's the right thing to do, or are you doing this because you got feelings for him? But so afterwards she goes to see Jake, and she's like, how in the hell did this get past us? How the hell did I get blindsided by this? And you know, Jake also feels some kind of way because he's no longer getting any more of Olivia's blackberry pie either. So he's like, I told you that we needed more men out in the field. So you need to figure out what's more important. You and the whole situation with the summit, or your ex-boyfriend. Because you told me to look into Fitz. And if we would have had more men on the field, we would have known about this sooner, and we would have been able to stop it before it could have taken over. But I'm focusing on Fitz and his shit, instead of actually focusing on what we need to focus on. So I was like, oh, Jake's smart, but Jake got a good damn point. So we next see that that Olivia goes to Millie, and she has two treaties. One is, you know, giving Millie what she wants. She wants to put the military, you know, there at the Swan. So she says, okay, we're going to do that. And then she also has a second one to pretty much, I think, the second agenda, I think, if I can remember, was it was like the plan B to the situation. So then we also see that all this coverage about the summit has completely overshadowed, you know, Nora Allen and her plea to find her daughter Zoe. So the press has lost a lot of, I mean, she's no longer getting any press. So we see the next time we see her, she's at work, and Quinn goes to see her, and she don't want to see Quinn. She's like, I'm over it. I'm sick of this. I want my daughter back. And it just seemed to me that I thought that me being on TV was going to help do something about it, but obviously nothing happened yet. And the reason why is because the situation of Summit completely overshadowed that situation. But Quinn was like, we found your daughter. She's in Alexandria right now at a facility. You know, your daughter's alive. She's okay. And she just broke down and she screamed, and, you know, her co-workers were embracing her. It was a great moment. So, yeah, they finally found Zoe. And Millie, that was the second treaty. The second treaty was about, you know, adding a new department, you know, within the Justice Department to actually help, you know, to solve cases of missing black children. So we see that was, so we see that, yeah, Olivia gave her what she wanted, but then she also delivered something else for her to do too. So, because Olivia is really the mastermind of this. So they're all excited that, yeah, we've now got this institution set up. So now from this point forward, you know, we now have a department that's going to focus on missing African American children. So that's great. Then we also see that, you know, Olivia goes to see Jake, and she says that Fitz is not the only one that's not clean. And she finds out that, you know, Fitz, along with her father, have been meeting with each other. With the last scene, excuse me, the last scene, we see that Papa Pope goes into his lab, and we see that dinosaur Anna is gone. And then next, you know, we see Olivia. They're in the dark, but we definitely notice that Anna's gone. She even got rid of it, and she says that she pretty much is like, I see that you have an agenda. And she kicks the chair over there, and she's like, sit. I was like, ooh, it's really going to get heated next episode. But that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Or if you have some commentary that you want to talk about in regarding this show, put it down there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, I've started a GoFundMe. You can find out that link, you can actually find that link in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Scandal. So until then, everybody, take care.